begin tonight's show in the NBA in New York as the New York Knicks have fired head coach Tom Thibodeau after 5 seasons. Tom Thibodeau had coached the Knicks 5 years in New York, and he led the Knicks to the playoffs in 4 out of his 5 seasons. So, for me, my immediate reaction to the Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau was this was a dumb move by the New York Knicks. And the reason why this was a dumb move by the New York Knicks are for multiple reasons. Number one, when you look at Tom Thibodeau in his 5 seasons as head coach of the New York Knicks, his record is 400 and 226 in the regular season, which means he's won 57% of his games in the regular season. And 4 out of his 5 seasons as the Knicks head coach, Tibbs led the Knicks to the playoffs. He led the Knicks to back-to-back 50-win seasons for the first time since 1990. He led them to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years, and Thibodeau had 24 playoff wins. Amongst 13 other coaches for the Knicks, they only had 7 playoff wins. So, for me, I feel like this was a dumb move by the Knicks because, in my eyes, Tom Thibodeau did the most he possibly could as their head coach as they were currently constructed with their roster that had limitations. And to me, Tibbs, considering the fact that the Knicks overachieved, because I believe the Knicks overachieved, let's be real. Coming into the NBA playoffs, most people believe that the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers were better than the New York Knicks. And for the Knicks to get to the Eastern Conference Finals and be 2 wins away from reaching an NBA Finals, to me, that means the Knicks overachieved as a basketball team. I never felt like the Knicks were true championship contenders. I like their dynamic duo with Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns, but even those players being the Knicks' 2 best players, I had questions about them. I don't know if you can win a championship with Jalen Brunson as your true number 1 option. I have questions about Karl-Anthony Towns as to whether or not he can be a reliable second option on a championship contender. I will give Cat credit from this standpoint. I thought Cat played better in this year's postseason compared to what he's done in years past. But I have questions about Brunson and Cat as your dynamic duo as to whether or not you can win an NBA championship with Brunson and Cat as your 1-2 punch. And I hear people talk about, oh, Tom Thibodeau plays his starters extended minutes. He doesn't really utilize his bench. What bench are we talking about? I looked at the Knicks bench, right? Because prior to the Eastern Conference Finals, they started Hart instead of Mitchell Robinson. And Tibbs made a change going into Game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals, and he started Mitchell Robinson instead of starting Josh Hart. And so this was the Knicks bench after the Eastern Conference Finals. Josh Hart, Landry Shamet, DeJuan Wright, Miles McBride. That was what Tom Thibodeau had to work with from a bench standpoint. So I keep hearing people talk about he doesn't utilize his bench. What bench? What bench? The Knicks, they don't have a bench like the Pacers with Obi Toppin and Benedict Mathurin and TJ McConnell coming off the bench. They don't have a bench like the Thunder have with Wallace and Alex Caruso and Isaiah Joe coming off the bench. They don't have a reliable bench. So that's why I understood why Tibbs played his starters extended minutes. I understood it. And so for me, considering the fact that Tibbs led the Knicks to the playoffs And 4 out of his 5 seasons as head coach, he led them to 2 50-win seasons back-to-back, the first time that it's been done since the 1990s. He led them to an Eastern Conference Finals appearance for the first time in 25 years. And he has 24 playoff wins compared to other Knicks head coaches who only have 7 playoff wins. That, to me, feels like Tom Thibodeau got screwed by the New York Knicks. He got screwed. Leon Rose, president of basketball operations for the Knicks, we need some answers. We need some answers because, to me, Tibbs did all he possibly could with what he had at his disposal as the Knicks head coach. And the only reason I could see the Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau is for 2 reasons. One, if they have an inside source and as to whether or not maybe they can possibly get Giannis, and maybe Giannis doesn't want Tibbs as his head coach. In that case, I would understand the Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau. Because if you can get your hands on Giannis, Giannis can choose whichever coach he chooses as your superstar. So I would understand the Knicks firing Tibbs if they were going to sign Giannis in free agency. Another reason why I would understand the Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau would be if a Eric Spoelstra or a elite head coach that's proven out there, like Eric Spoelstra, or a good in the NBA head coach that's proven and has won games throughout their career, and that has not happened. So unless there's an Eric Spoelstra or a Ty Lue out there, I don't understand why the Knicks would fire Tom Thibodeau. If a Ty Lue is available or an Eric Spoelstra is available, I could see why the Knicks would fire Tibbs, because Ty Lue and Eric Spoelstra are both better head coaches than Tom Thibodeau. But those are the only 2 reasons that I could think of as to why the Knicks would fire Tom Thibodeau. Because they could possibly get their hands on Giannis, and Giannis would want a coach of his choice, or Ty Lue or Eric Spoelstra is out there who could replace Tibbs as a Knicks head coach. Now, here's the thing. Moving forward, there are 2 names I've been hearing that could possibly replace Tibbs in New York. Jay Wright. Now, Jay Wright coached Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart at Villanova. So maybe they want to bring in Jay Wright because Jay Wright has a relationship with Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart. That's a possible option for their head coaching vacancy. Or maybe even Michael Malone. Now, Michael Malone won an NBA championship for the Denver Nuggets as their head coach. But honestly, and I love Michael Malone, I honestly don't really feel like Michael Malone, I didn't feel like he deserved to lose his job in Denver. But I don't really believe that Michael Malone is a significantly better coach than Tom Thibodeau is. Michael Malone just had the luxury of coaching Jokic, who's the best player in the NBA. And Michael Malone is a quality NBA head coach. Do not get me wrong. He deserves a head coaching opportunity. But I don't really believe that Michael Malone is a better coach than Tom Thibodeau. And so for me, I believe Tom Thibodeau got screwed by the Knicks. And I just don't know where the Knicks go from here. Unless you can try to lure Ty Lue from Los Angeles, or lure Eric Spoelstra from Miami, or possibly get Giannis to New York. In that case, he would obviously get the coach of his choice. Those are the only reasons why I could see the Knicks firing Tom Thibodeau. So I definitely believe Tibbs got screwed in this situation. Everybody go follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H, also on Facebook, Wise Guys. I'll be right back discussing the NBA Finals.